Hello.
Hello, sis. Thank you for joining early.
Yeah,
How
honestly,
have
I
you
wasn't sure
been?
what time it begins. Does it start at 11?
Yeah, it does start at 11. I should have said that.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts at 11. So we still have a few minutes. You can hop off and hop back on when we're ready,
Yeah, I'll
or you
just
can
I'll
hang
just stay
around. It
on.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'll hang around. Thank you.
Okay,
All
sounds
right.
good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off camera for now, so I don't make people think we're about to start.
Yeah, I agree. Hmm. No.
Hello, hello, everyone. Can you see me? Hi, Miss Nika.
I'm muted. Good morning.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks to everyone who's joined early. Appreciate that for being mindful of the time. We still have a couple minutes and then we'll get started. Let's give everybody else a chance to hop on this one. It's going to be a short one, 1 hour, fully packed. So we're sure to start on time and then we'll be mindful and keep the time to just an hour. But I'm excited about this one. It's gonna be fun. Hope you all are. Get your notes, get your pens, be ready to write. Be ready to take
Yep,
notes.
yep, yep.
It's gonna be fun. Next time I'm gonna get some nice music for my early joiners. Something to keep the energy going. All right, everyone. I know we still have a few seconds to go, but I think we can start so that, again, we maximize the time we have. So welcome, 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 and thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining early, for carving time out of your Friday to join us today. And I promise you, you will be glad that you did. We have so much that we will be sharing today. And not to take too much of your time, I am Ola Ofuya. I'm a realtor in the Houston area, and I will be talking to you about strategies on how to make savings or how to, keep some buck in your pocket when you go about buying your home. And with me today is a powerhouse, a veteran, an experienced mortgage loan broker, and she has, so much for us today. So welcome, Miss Nika. Thank you so much for doing this one with me. I know
Thank
you have a
you.
hard stop at 12, so please, everyone, she's going to leave by 12. If you have questions, get your questions in before 12. It's going to be an interactive session today. We're going to be going over the steps in the home buying process, and at every step, we'll talk about how some strategies that you can employ to save cost. And just a few housekeeping, please stay muted, keep your cameras off. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the chat. We will be monitoring the chat and we'll be taking the questions. No, there is no Q&A at the end. It's an interactive session, like I said. So as the questions come to you, please just put them in the chat and I'll be sure to take care of them. Thank you so much. So today, like I said, we're just talking about buying a home and how you can save money doing it. And we'll be sharing strategies that can save you 10, 20, 30, 50 plus thousand. And that is a lot of money. But what is affordability? Affordability is not just about price, it's about the strategies you employ. And it means different things to different people. For some people, affordability is about not coming to the closing table with a lot of money. They're okay to pay a bit more, in the latter parts of the journey. For some people, they want to get all that savings, saved for later. So we're going to be talking about the different strategies that work around this thing. Yeah. So most buyers don't really overpay just because the house is expensive. It is because they do not have the right team with them. And like I always say, home buying is a team sport. And for you to have an A team, you need to have like an excellent realtor who will fight for you, negotiate for you, cover for you. You need to have an experienced mortgage loan broker. And note, I did not say lender. I said loan broker who would go out and find the best deals for you. And also, who will also put you in touch with the inspectors, the appraisers, and all the professionals in the industry that you need to get the best deal out of it. So let's get into it. What's the first step? And this is what I call step zero. Step zero is where you decide, yes, I am ready. I want to buy a home and I want to do it within a year. it's a big decision. That's probably the biggest financial decision some of us will make in our lifetime. So it's not one to be taken, casually. It's something most people will think about, brood over, get some jitters and nerves too. I'm like, am I ready? Am I not ready? But once you make that decision, the strategy there is stop any form of major financial decisions, any other major financial decisions that include, opening a new line of credit or a new credit card or thinking about doing any big purchase. Just not to say you would not do it, but at least at that point, just stop. That could save you time and it could save you money. So that's the strategy right there. Now let's get to the first step. Step one, initial consultation with a realtor with me. This is when you come and say, I'm thinking about buying a home, Ola, what do you think? And this is the session where we talk about what your budget is, what your goals are, and what does comfort mean to you? For me, comfort is a big thing, and comfort means different things to different people, right? So the strategy here, and I'm going to be very quick. So if you have questions, let's save it, let's put it in the chat. We can also reach out for a one-on-one consultation. In the meantime, Ms. Nika, you can put in your contact details in the chat too, so they can grab it from there. Maybe easier for some. I'll also put mine. Yes. So step one, this is when we have the initial consultation and we discuss about your goals. Why are you buying a home? Your timing, when do you want to buy it? If you're renting already and your lease is coming up soon, do you want to buy before? And then we look at the timing, we look at the strategies around, that works for you. It may mean that, you may have to go month on month on your rent so that we get the best deal for you. Or can we make it happen before your rent is up, right? We also talk about comfort. Now that leads me to the strategy I want to talk a bit about here. Location can mean a lot, can change your price in the tens of thousands. And I'll give you an example. So Houston is a market, it's a residential, real estate market. But within Houston, we have mini markets. We have bubbles of places that are doing differently in terms of their market trends. Last year, I had a buyer who bought in Fulshire, Texas. And I kid you not, the same home, same plan, same builder, same lot size, same square footage, and it's 40,000 more expensive in spring. So this can happen. And that's why I said, what does comfort mean to you? So if location is not a problem, like both places have great schools, that they're zoned to, they're close to Fulshire is close to Katy, Spring is close to the Woodlands. So what does it mean to you? If location doesn't really matter, then that's the time when we sit and we talk about it. Okay, this is what you're looking for. Can we get it cheaper in a different market within the Houston metro, right? So that can save you 10, 20, 30,000. Another thing is some markets are softer than the other right now. So some are still, the homes are still priced premium wise. We're looking at Katy, you're looking at Sugarland, the Woodlands. The home prices are not dropping as fast. We have some softer markets in the Houston area. So we can look at it and be like, can we get the same thing in a softer market that would save you some more money? So that's the strategy of saving over there. And again, it means you're talking to a realtor who's experienced, who has, the knowledge of the location and the locality to help with that. All right. Step two, financial preparation. Now that's where Ms. Like comes in. This is when we consult with a mortgage loan broker. And here, what are we doing? We're looking at your credit review, we're doing income analysis, debt evaluation, savings plan. And just you improving your credit by 20 to 40 points can lower your interest rate by, I'll leave it to the expert to talk about it, 0.5, 1%. And it could mean a lot in the term of your loan. So Ms. Nika, please talk to us about that part.
All right. Hi, everybody. And thanks so much for joining today. And Ola, thank you so much for inviting me to speak here. I don't take it for granted. So after your consultation with Ola, you want to speak to an experienced mortgage broker. And who is a mortgage broker? A mortgage broker is on your side. So what we do is we're completely different from the bank. The way I like to explain to consumers so they understand is when you walk into, let's say, Chase or West Fargo, you have to fit into their box. You have to, every bank have, different, well, there's a guideline that we all have to follow, but some lenders also have variations to the guidelines. So they have some things they would allow and some things they wouldn't allow. So when you walk into, let's say, a West Fargo or a Chase, you have to fit into their box. But when you come to a broker like me, I have lenders that I work with that are only their only specialty is mortgages. So when you come and I go over your finances, I go over your application, based on my experience, mind you, I've been in this space now for over 23 years. I know what lender will do what. And if you are not ready at the time of application, we don't just leave you hanging. We'll tell you what do you need to do to get you to where you need to be at. I always say delay is not denial. So just because you can't do it now does not mean you can never do it. So whenever you get through talking to your realtor, then we go over your income, we go over your credit, we go over your assets. So your credit is extremely important because the lender wants to see how financially responsible you are. If you are not financially responsible, then nobody wants to give you a loan. So you want to make sure that if there's any collection on your credit, you want to make sure that you have an explanation for that collection. And, things happen, things happen to people in life. I've had to deal with bad credit in the past. So I know exactly what it is when I pull somebody's credit and I see that the credit score is, let's say, 500 or 520. I was there once, okay? So I know exactly what it is. Sometimes it's not because you are a bad person or it's not because you don't want to make that payment, but, issues do happen. So when you have that situation, then we go over your credit and we make suggestions. If it's something that I feel you need a credit repair person to help you, then, I can make some recommendations so you can reach out to them and see if they can work with you. So once we get the credit issue out of the way, then we look at your income. The easiest way to know if you're ready, because I see a lot of people want to buy a house that they cannot afford. You see someone that's making, let's say, $4,000 a month, and they want to buy a $500,000 home. It does not work that way. So the easiest math that I tell people is whatever your gross income is, take 45% of that. That's the maximum mortgage payment you can make. Now, I say 45 for a reason, because we can really go up to 46, but just to be on the safe side, let's do 45, because sometimes taxes may be higher than what we expected. Insurance may be higher than what we expected. So you always want to leave a little bit of room. So 45%. So if you're making, let's say $6,000 a month, what's 45% of that? Then you know that your mortgage payment cannot exceed that amount. So when you're talking to your realtor, you already let your realtor know, hey, I make $6,000 a month. I know 45% of my income is X amount. So I need a property within that budget. All right. And then your agent will know exactly how to help you. Then we also want to talk about assets. We want to talk about your down payment. Your down payment is extremely important as well. Now, we do have some programs that allows gift from family members, and now it's tax season. Tax season, when you get your tax refund, instead of spending that tax refund on something that is not important, you can always use that as a down payment towards your home. Nobody's going to ask you questions. Now, when we're talking about asset, we want to make sure any non-payroll related deposit into your account would have to be documented. If you're not able to document those, then you won't be able to use them. So, yeah, those are the main things that we focus on when you apply initially: your credit, your income, and your asset. Of course, there are some other things, some other questions we ask, but those are the three main factors.
All right, thanks, Miss Nika. And something you said that also made me go back to the first step about location. So you talked about property tax. A lot of people going thinking, I only need to worry about my mortgage and the interest rate. But there is the tax, the property tax. This is Texas, we pay property tax. And there is the insurance. So if you're in the flood zone, you're required to take a flood insurance. And you're also supposed to have the homeowner's insurance, right?
And
But
mortgage insurance.
and mortgage insurance if you do not do 20% down payment,
And
right?
HOA.
And HOA fees, exactly.
Right.
That's not to scare you all, but it does add up, and that's the whole picture that you need to consider when you're thinking about buying a home and what it means to you or what you are able to afford. Or property tax, though, you also have flexibility there because they're not the same. From even within the same city, within the same Katy, within the same Fulshire, Spring, Conroe, wherever you are, you find out that property taxes vary from as much as 1.09 to about 3.4% of the whatever your home is appraised to be. So that is also something that we look at from the onset when we're looking at homes. We say, okay, this is what this is going to cost you monthly on an estimate. And this one will probably be cheaper by, a few hundreds just because of the property tax in that location. So that's another strategy that we employ when we're looking at, saving cost. Now, when Ms. Nika talked about pre-approval, when you've done everything, put things in place, you're good to go, you go ahead and you register for pre-approval. Ms. Nika, this is the point where we decide what kind of loan we want to go into, right? This is the time when we think about what do you qualify for. As a first-time home buyer, ideally you should qualify for FHA loan if you're a permanent resident or you're a citizen of the country.
Right.
Or you could also have conventional loans. So I'll let Ms. Nika talk about that a bit more. With FHA, there is a 3.5% down payment. The requirements are a bit easier to handle, but then there is a cost implication to that. And then with conventional loans, they have a bit more stringent requirements, but maybe if you're able to do 20%, you don't have to do the mortgage insurance. So that's why I said affordability means different things to different people. You may want to do 3%, 3.5% down payment for FHA loan or 3% for conventional loan, but that means that you're carrying insurance in your monthly payment. Or maybe you can afford to do 20% as your down payment. That way you don't have to pay the PMI. And one more thing I want you to talk, Ms. Nika, before I turn it over to you. I've seen that some lenders are also waiving that a bit more. I've seen signs that they say they would give you 10%, for 10% down payment, they will waive the PMI. So I know that a lot of lenders are also in the market trying to, make things easier. So those are areas where I assume you will come in and help, guide. So I'll let you talk about it some more.
Okay, so for the benefit of those who may not know, PMI is private mortgage insurance. Whenever you are getting a loan and you don't have 20% to put down, the lender will place that mortgage insurance on your loan. And the purpose of that mortgage insurance is to protect the lender in case your loan goes into default. That's the reason they have mortgage insurance. Because giving you a loan, giving you and I a loan is a risk to the lender. So they want to make sure they are protecting their own money. That's the reason for mortgage insurance. Because the truth is they don't trust us. They don't trust us that we're going to pay. So they have to make sure there's insurance. Just like you have insurance we have insurance on everything. You have insurance on your life, you have insurance on your car, you have insurance on your phone. So they have this mortgage insurance on your loan just to protect them from you going into default. Now, there are two types. So talking about the waiving mortgage insurance, there are some loan products that you can actually waive mortgage insurance even with three. Now, let me go back. So conventional loan, which is a regular bank loan, you can do as little as 3% down. So whenever a client comes to me, the first thing when I pull credit is to see what's better for them. Most times, I typically, if they qualify for both FHA and conventional loan, I typically present both options. We'll look at one, the down payment. We'll look at cash to close. We'll look at monthly payment. We look at how long are you going to keep that mortgage insurance on your loan? How long do you plan to stay in that home? Those are the things that we take into consideration before deciding what you finally qualify for. So we do have loan programs that doesn't have mortgage insurance, but the thing is, what most people will not tell you is that that mortgage insurance is factored into your interest rate. So if you have interest rate, let's say you get a conventional loan, and let's say your interest rate is 6% with mortgage insurance, then now you're saying, no, I don't want mortgage insurance. Then so what they'll do is they'll finance that mortgage insurance into your loan. And then so instead of 6% interest rate, your interest rate could be 6.5. Okay. Again, we'll look into all of these options and see what's better for you. One, how long do you plan to stay in that home? Because you know that when you live in that home, after some time, the value of your property could go up. So once the value of your property goes up, you can actually waive that mortgage insurance. So all you need, for example, I bought a home 3 years ago. My home just clocked 3 years. February 14th was when I closed on my home. When I bought my home, I had 10% down. And I knew when I bought that home that I had equity in the property. But at that time, so the lender would only lend you based on your sales price or your appraised value, whichever is lower. So my sales price was, what we used to determine my eligibility, even though the value came in higher. So after I stayed in the property so this particular lender required that we stay in the property for, I think 12 months or a year and a half or 2 years. I believe 2 years. 2 years, I believe. So, and I reached out to them and I told them that I need to remove the mortgage insurance. Mind you, I've only lived in that house for 2 years. So they asked me to go get a broker priced opinion. How much did it cost me? $150. So I paid $150. They had someone prepare a broker priced opinion. They call it BPO. And lo and behold, that property has a lot more equity and that mortgage insurance was dropped. So I always ask people, how long do you plan to live in the house? Because that will determine if it's okay for you to go with the lender paid mortgage insurance or you go with the borrower paid mortgage insurance. Because if you go with the borrower paid mortgage insurance, you can actually take it off after you've gotten more equity in the home. But if you go with the lender paid insurance, you cannot take it off. You pay that interest rate until you pay off the loan or you refinance. So that's something that you also want to, so many people will tell you all kind of things. Most of us are salespeople. It's very rare for you to get people that are actually looking out for you, people that are actually looking out for your best interest, because everybody wants to make money. So you have to, and that's the reason we're going over this information, so you know better. So when you know that when you're ready to buy a home, you're calling the right people that are actually looking out for you. Ola and I work so well together, and I know a lot of the things that she does when she has clients under contract. Not everybody does that. I'm not going to lie to you. And I also have a client that bought a house 2 years ago. She's refinancing right now, and refinanced from a 30-year mortgage, we're refinancing to 25 because she had to make sure the payment is affordable. I know she's been talking about affordability, and that is key, guys. Affordability is key. You don't want to buy a home that you cannot afford to pay monthly. Because if you cannot afford to make that payment, trust me, the bank will come and take that home away from you. You don't need to buy a home to please people that don't like you. Buy something that you know that no matter what, at the end of the month, I'm going to be able to afford this payment, right? Or let's